This is Channel 9 Eyewitness News this morning. Coverage you can count on.
This morning, an Orlando City Commissioner is officially facing criminal charges that could land her years in prison if convicted.
They dotted their I's and they crossed their T's before they took it to the grand jury.
How that defense attorney expects this case to unfold.
Plus, 2 people are recovering after fighting a fire at the Seminole County home. Ahead, why the flames were not the only challenge they faced.
And why the governor says a new law involving wine is a major win for businesses across the state of Florida. Good morning. It is 4:30 on your Finally Friday. I'm Alexa Lorenzo.
And I'm Kirsten Delgado. Let's get over to certified meteorologist Cassie Crimmy.
And as we step outside, a nice cool start to our day. Right now in Orlando, we're sitting at 60 degrees. But if we take you area wide, there is a lot of 50s. We're out the door right now to 57 in DeLand, 59 in the Villages, 51 in Ocala, as well as in Palm Coast this morning. These numbers 10 to 15 degrees cooler than we were yesterday at this time. Again, yesterday we were waking up to the 60s and 70s. We also had some rain nearby. That is also another big change. We're going to keep things bone dry as we head through this afternoon, and the humidity levels will be down for us as well. So clear skies to start. We're going to keep those skies sunny as we head through the afternoon, and high pressure is going to come in, and it's going to make for really a very pleasant weekend. This is going to extend into our Easter holiday weekend as well. Temperatures will warm just a little bit as we take you through your Saturday and Sunday, but today we're going to keep things a little bit below average with 70s for those afternoon highs. So lots of sunshine, mid-70s just after lunchtime, which is where most of us will peak. But then we've got 80s and even 90s in our outlook. I'll talk a bit more about that coming up in my full forecast. Alexa.
Cassie, thank you. We're following a developing story here in Orlando. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement arrested Commissioner Regina Hill. They say she used falsified documents to purchase a home and buy luxuries like a facelift and hotel stays with the victim's money. Hill was released yesterday after posting a $40,000 bond. Our Chantel Navarro reports Hill says she is innocent.
And Channel 9 anchor Greg Warmoth sat down with longtime defense attorney Richard Hornsby to get more insight on what this legal case might look like going forward. Hornsby says Hill's attorneys may already be trying to negotiate a plea agreement.
She needs to come forward with restitution. She needs to make a mitigation, plea to the prosecutor saying, I can pay this money back if you will give me leniency on how my case is resolved. I can almost assure you that her attorney has already probably advised her of that, and that they're trying to figure out ways that they can make the victim whole, because that will be the biggest mitigator to determine whether or not they will cut her any breaks and how they resolve her case and give her a plea agreement.
And stay with Channel 9 and WFTV.com. We will continue to follow this developing story as the criminal case against Commissioner Hill moves forward.
Right now, a teenage boy has been arrested in connection to a shooting that killed a woman in Orlando.
And that suspect is only 15 years old. Police say the victim, 35-year-old Veronica Ramirez, was shot in a parking lot on West Colonial Drive near Mercy Drive earlier this month. Now, she died at a hospital. The Central Florida Fair was wrapping up not too far away, and Jaden Maxey faces a charge of second-degree homicide with a firearm. Police have not said if the victim and the suspect knew one another. Q McCray is now looking into this case for us this morning. He'll have a live report for you coming up in under 30 minutes at 5 a.m.
We'll check this morning with the Orange County Sheriff's Office about a shooting that sent a woman to the hospital. Deputies were called to Old Cheney Highway near Cimarron Boulevard yesterday morning. That's where they say they found the woman in her 50s who had been shot. That woman is now recovering in the hospital. So far, investigators are not releasing any information about a possible suspect, but as soon as they give us more details, we'll share them with you.
2 workers are in the hospital this morning recovering from burns after the foam insulation they were spraying in an attic here sparked a fire. You can see here crews battling that blaze at a house here in Seminole County. Now, the fire broke out on Lake Harney Road in Geneva yesterday. Firefighters climbed ladders to spray down the hot spots and keep the flames from spreading. A construction crew was working inside the home when that fire started.
So the house is currently being renovated. There's no floors on the second floor, so it's just trusses that are running on the second floor, so there's no plywood or anything to stand on.
Rescue crews were able to reach those injured workers and get them out of that burning home. The state fire marshal's office will now be investigating the cause of this fire.
Tenants at a Holly Hill extended stay motel are scrambling to find a new place to live this morning. They've been evicted only with a week's notice. Channel 9's Demi Johnson reports the owners say those units need renovations to meet current city code standards. The company says it offered to refund money and help relocate tenants to its other properties. We asked the city for records of the code violations, and we're still waiting to get those.
And here's some good news for wine lovers. You'll soon see larger glass bottles of wine on sale at your favorite store. Governor Ron DeSantis signed that bill into law yesterday. That new law will allow wine to be sold in containers that can be as large as 15 liters. That's almost 4 gallons. The governor said the measure changes an outdated law that isn't good for businesses or consumers.
We want our businesses to thrive. We want our consumers to be happy. And if that means they want to buy and sell a big old bottle of wine like this, then by golly, they're going to be able to do that in the state of Florida.
The governor called the new rules a good example of cutting unnecessary red tape. That new law goes into effect July 1st.
A lot of wine.
Yeah, and here's some more good news for anyone looking for a yummy breakfast or a tasty snack.
A brand new Mecato's Bakery and Cafe will open today. The ribbon cutting is scheduled for 4 this afternoon along Hansel Avenue in Edgewood. The owners of Mecato's say they serve the best Colombian coffee, breakfast, and bakery items in Orlando. It is really good. The Hispanic Chamber says the opening is another milestone for the local business community.
I was just the one in Waterford yesterday.
Oh, delicious.
That sounds good. Best Colombian coffee sounds good. Yes. We get you outside. Morning temperatures, they are cooler. A lot of 50s, really just a few 60s still holding on. 60 right now in Orlando, 61 in Kissimmee, 55 in Daytona, and 51 degrees in Palm Coast, dropping our temperatures from yesterday by close to 15 degrees in a lot of spots. We had that front move through yesterday. It brought us some of the showers really for the first half of the day, but then clearing and cooling, and now we get the effects of the cool down. But you can see satellite and radar. We're obviously not tracking any showers, but hardly even tracking any clouds. We zoom out, we can see some of the cloud cover out over the open Atlantic once we get past the Gulf Stream. But high pressure today, tomorrow, and into the weekend is really going to keep things very sunny and very comfortable. Today will be the cooler of the 3 days with highs staying in the mid 70s. Over the weekend, we will start to tap into some more 80s across the area. But if you're going to be outdoors today, we're not going to be dodging any raindrops. Not this morning, not this afternoon. Winds are going to be lightening up from what we had yesterday, so it won't be as breezy. But with all that sunshine, we're going to have high UV indexes or an indice across all of Central Florida, so keep that in mind. But coming up in just a bit, we'll take you through the weekend forecast and into next week because, believe it or not, we've got some 90s in the forecast. Kirsten.
Cassie, thank you. Crews just removed a massive creature from a Florida neighborhood.
Very surprised to see something like this happen in the neighborhood.
Coming up, how they found a nearly 9-foot gator was living in a storm drain. Wow.
And this woman climbed the corporate ladder to become a vice president within Duke Energy. New this morning, how she's inspiring other women to join a male-dominated field. It's 4:42.
I'm Clark Howard. Inflation is punching us in the gut, but I'm going to show you how to fight back on Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. It's 4:45 as we take a live look over downtown Orlando. We're moving as we should on our highways. We'll check in traffic along with your weather every 10 minutes starting at 5. Throughout this Women's History Month, we've shared with you some of the women that are leading the way for the next generation of female leaders.
And new this morning, you're going to meet one more. Laquita Gent is a vice president within Duke Energy, and along with making sure your lights stay on, she's lighting the way for other women to enter a male-dominated field. And the female-led leadership for Duke Energy does not end there. The CEO for Duke Energy is a woman, and the state president for Duke Energy Florida is also a woman. So women are definitely leading from the top there within the Duke Energy system.
Yeah, we love to see it. Great story there.
Speaking of women.
Hello. Brian's off today.
Yes, he is off enjoying a long holiday weekend, which is going to be great. I mean, a lot of people I know kind of gather with family over the weekend for the specific one, and the weather is going to shape up perfectly for you. We take you outside early this morning. We've got a nice little dip in our morning temperatures. We are in the 50s and 60s. You can see Orlando right now, 60 degrees right on the dot, 59 in Leesburg and the Villages, 56 in DeLand, 55 in Daytona, 51 in Palm Coast. These numbers 10 to 15 degrees cooler for us this morning. We have a clear, dry start to the day. We're not tracking or anticipating any wet weather for us today. And now through the weekend, a very pleasant stretch of weather headed our direction. So if we get you hour by hour through your Friday, you can see the sunny skies headed our way today. Temperatures are going to be climbing into the mid-70s. By later this afternoon, we head over to the coastline. We'll dial the numbers back just a little bit, especially up in Volusia and Flagler counties for the beaches there, right on that threshold of 70 degrees. You can see in Daytona, 69 still at noon, 70 at around 2 o'clock. But a lot of our beaches will at least hit the low 70s this afternoon. A little bit warmer for our southern beaches. So Cocoa Beach, Indian Atlantic, Mel Beach, you'll be a little bit higher in the 70s for us today. But surf height still running at about 4 to 5 feet. Rip current still dangerous. So we'll keep an eye on that for you as we head towards our beaches. But you can see the temperatures up and down the coastline there, low to mid 70s. Palm Coast, very, very close to getting into the 70s today. So if we do not reach the 70s, it's going to happen up in parts of Flagler County. But the rest of us, 75 in Sanford and the Villages, Claremont sitting at 75, really a perfect day. Just a little bit below average for our temperatures. Humidity will be low. Then as we head towards the holiday weekend, we're going to have 50s in the morning. So the cool temperatures will continue. Lots of sunshine. 80s will return though. So we'll start to get a little bit warmer. And then we continue that warm up next week with another chance for some rain. So here's a look at your holiday forecast. 81 degrees on Saturday, 84 degrees on Sunday. And again, dry through the entire weekend, keeping it dry for the first half of this upcoming week. We'll have some more clouds, but by the middle of the week, that's when we'll get our next chance for rain and a cool down, which we're probably going to want because look at these temperatures at the front end of next week. Upper 80s and 90s, hitting 90 degree on Tuesday, then Wednesday, that chance for rain will cool things down again, bringing us back into the mid 70s for Thursday afternoon. It's also going to give us a nice little cool down in our morning hours as well. We'll have those 50s as we wake up on Thursday morning. Kirsten.
Cassie, thank you. Universal just unveiled some exciting new details about Epic Universe. Coming up, what you can expect when you step into the world of How to Train Your Dragon.
And next, the reaction from neighbors Southwest Florida after this massive gator was pulled out of a storm drain. My goodness, it's 4:50.
Drone 9, only on Channel 9 Eyewitness News. Getting you closer over the scene of breaking news.
Drone 9, sponsored by StrataAC.com. You ought to call Strata.
The city of Port Orange has received more than $15 million from the state to upgrade its water reclamation facility. That project includes an overhaul of electrical components and installation of new natural gas power generators. The facility will also upgrade its filters and transfer pumps to meet current hurricane standards. That facility has the capacity to treat 12 million gallons of wastewater per day.
This morning, an Orlando City Commissioner is officially facing criminal charges.
At the top of the 5 o'clock hour, the consequences that Regina Hill could face if she's convicted.
And it is cooler outside early this morning, but a great afternoon in store. I've got your hour by hour coming up.